A lot of things are wrong with startup founders. I'm not generalizing it. Of course, there are so many good founders. They are very much successful. They are doing really good. But in general, you'll always find few people, few youngsters. They are planning to start a startup without any work experience. They basically start to thinking that I have 50,000 rupees, or we will just collect some amount, limited amount, and we will start a startup. That is really good. That is impressive. Of course, that is how a startup starts. But then afterwards, the problem starts coming. The startup founders, they are not aware, or after a certain amount of time, they start losing why they actually started. They didn't start a startup to, get funding. You started a startup to solve a problem. Rather than focusing on just funding, a startup should always have a dedicated person or couple of people who are always focused on that solution. The problem which you are going to fix, are you exactly fixing it? Are you exactly improvising it? So there should be a part of team, or even the startup founders should spend good amount of time on that thing rather than just funding. Do you know how Zomato got their first funding? That was through a cold call, right? The investor tried to reach them through telephone. They tried to reach the founders via different means, and they contacted the founders because the product was good. The product was solving a real problem, and the investors were impressed by using that product. The investors were already using that product. So, rather than focusing on funding, rather than focusing on money part, focus on the solution part. Are you exactly solving that problem? Do you have feedback? Are you working on those feedback? Do you have good people in team? I'm not talking about a lot of people in team. Do you have good people in team? So startup founders should focus on these things. It is very difficult, believe me. When you'll start a startup, you'll start focusing on profit. You'll start focusing on, okay, say for example, you are ignoring, assume that you are ignoring the profit part right now. Then of course you are going to focus on your product, your real core startup. And then after a certain point of time, you will start feeling that, okay, I don't have money. What to do? Then you will start looking for funding. Then you have to ask yourself, did you spend good amount of time in fixing that product or fixing that problem which you are going to solve? Once you fix a problem, once you have a really nice solution for an existing problem, believe me, you will get funding. Rather than just shouting about your requirement, what you can do, shout about your product, shout about your solution, and ask yourself, ask your friends, family, your enemies, whether your product is good. Okay, whether this product solved. Ask and go and talk to customers rather than talking to your investors. Go and talk to your customers. Spend time with your customers. Are they happy? Did they enjoy your startup? So that is what I feel. Startup founders should spend good amount of time on their product and go and check, double check, triple check your product, whether it is solving that problem, whether it is exactly what you wanted it to be. If it's not there, go and hire people, go and get in touch with more co-founders, go and have more co-founders, okay, and fix that problem first. That is important. Once there is no problem in your product, believe me, if your product is good, if your customers are loving your product, even with a limited customer size, you will have investors. So that is one thing. The second thing is, when you are spending money, the reason why I'm not having investors for Stage right now is, I'm not focused on that incoming income. I keep a good amount of eye on the money flow, where the money is going, how much money we are making. So you have to ask yourself, do you have anything in mind about making money or the monetization in your business model? Do you have anything in mind? When exactly you are going to implement that thing? Even with a limited amount of customers, the timing of implementation is going to play a crucial role in your business. So you wanted to have this feature and you are not having this right now. And if you don't have plan, believe me, even after 3 months or 6 months, you are not going to have it. So the startup will fail. Because you have that thing in mind, but you didn't implement it. You didn't find proper people. You didn't find good developers. You didn't find good designers. That is why that thing is still pending. And after a certain amount of time, you don't have money to invest. So the startup failed. So the timing is very important. That solution fixing is very important. The team is very important. And after these things are done, monetization, how the startup will make money. Think about it. Don't just waste money. Think about how the startup will make money. Do you have anything in mind? And once these things are done, don't just overspend your money on buying new air conditioner for your office, buying new carpet for your office. Don't invest money on those things. Go and invest money on grabbing more customers. So once you have the customers flow, you will have investors. There are so many investors in market. They want to invest money, but they need a good team, a good startup, a good platform to invest where they can expect return, right? So if you are not expecting, if you are not building that platform which will give return right now, how come they will invest? If you are a startup founder, go and check these things. Are you really solving the problem? What was the problem? How many people were facing that problem? And are you receiving feedback from those people? Are you fixing those problems? And if you are fixing those, are you improvising the product every day? Do you have a nice team to handle that improvisation? Do you have a monetization technique? Are you going to monetize with your startup? And whatever things you are going to implement, are you going to implement that on time? Ask these questions to yourself. And once you have the answer, once you have everything working, once you have customers, then only start looking for investors. Investors are going to help your business scale. They are not going to help your business build. Go and try these things. Wish you all the best.